Hey guys, welcome to Moving the Goalposts with Dalboy and Matt. This video is proudly sponsored by Top Tipper Betting Tips. We have our own YouTube channel, Top Tipper Betting Tips, and we tip horse racing in South Africa. And we also have a lot of info that we get from the UK that we put out on Telegram for only 400 Rand a month. You will get the tips. I just did a profit and loss video for the 2021-2022 season for Top Tipper Betting Tips, horse racing tips. And if you put 1,000 each way on our win bet and our value bets, you would have made 500,000, 449,400. So that was fantastic from our team. But tonight we're going to concentrate on the football. Welcome, Matt.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Have you enjoyed your time off?
I have. It's been, football couldn't have come sooner. Been missing football a lot.
Yeah, I think so too. I feel the same. Even though United aren't doing the business for me this transfer window, but we'll see how we go. So first of all, I'd like to welcome Matt, and I'd like to welcome all our viewers. Tonight we're going to talk about transfers. We're going to talk about the league winners, who we predict to win the league. We're going to tip our top four for the Premier League season. We're going to tip our top six for Europa League, and obviously relegation. We'll talk a little bit about that, which is not nice to talk about in your first video for the season, but that's part of life. So Matt, I'm going to hand over to you. I'm going to let you talk about your transfers, your top transfers, your disappointments, who you think's done a lot of good business, and how you think it's going to go this season with regards to the transfers that still could happen. So I'm going to start with you, Matt.
Yeah, Steve, as you said, we'll start off with your team. You wearing a United shirt. We'll start off with your team. You know, they're one of the biggest part of news in the world, or biggest team in the world for transfers at the moment, with all the news surrounding them, players leaving, players running out, players not wanting to join. And we'll start off with what they've bought in. So with Erik ten Hag, you know, Martinez, quality centre back for Ajax. I think he was top 2 in all stats or on clearances, headers won. He's only 5, I think it's 5'9", and he's winning headers. Like, he has better stats than Harry Maguire, than any other centre back. So it's a good bar in terms of, like, he knows Erik ten Hag. Ten Hag knows how he plays. United also acquired, what's his name? Eriksen. I think it's a very good bar. I thought it was a very good bar, considering Premier League experience, other than his heart problem, a world-class player, very good player. Gives Bruno the competition he needs because he never had it. United supposed to, their left back, Luke Shaw, didn't have competition. I didn't think Alex Telles was good enough to compete. That kid knows Erik ten Hag Erik ten Hag knows that kid from the Eredivisie, the Netherlands League. So it's good business, but it's also bad business because United, yes, they've covered important positions, but you don't have a right back. You still got Wan-Bissaka. Don't have a striker. Cristiano Ronaldo wants to leave. Your defensive midfield is not good enough. Like, you're not going to win anything with Fred and McTominay.
McFred.
Yeah, McFred. Varane, like we don't know, he's injured on and off. So is it going to be Maguire and this Martinez centre back pairing, or uh? So it's like you see Jadon Sancho pulling together, but it's like good, more bad upon good in terms of transfers. Like United wasted what 3 months chasing Frankie De Jong, and he doesn't want to join. United could have gone and bought 3 players in that time, and especially with the money that they were willing to pay for him, you can go buy Wilfred Ndidi as a sensitive defensive midfielder, pure sensitive defensive midfielder, what less than Frankie De Jong is worth. So it's this and that, and like I don't think the situation around Ronaldo has helped because they don't know. Okay, do we need to buy replacements? Do we need to fill in Ronaldo into the plans as a player if he's not going to leave? They don't want him to leave, but he doesn't want to stay. You don't keep a player who doesn't want to play for your club. It's just how it's going to go.
Well, for me, Matt, I supported United since I was very young, probably 7, 8, or 9 years old. So you're looking at about 40, 45 years I've supported United. Not only is it unacceptable for a club like United, but it's also embarrassing the way they do their business.
100%.
The only thing that I'm happy about this season so far is Ten Hag has come in, and the thing that United lacked last season was discipline. I think he's got the discipline sorted out, hopefully.
He's also not a manager. Like Ralf Rangnick was there for 6 months. He was an interim manager, but he wasn't a manager who accepted like mediocrity. Not Ralf Rangnick, Ten Hag. He's not going to accept mediocrity, but he's also not going to throw you under the bus like Ralf Rangnick did with the players. That's why it went very downhill for me for United, is because he just said, "Oh, screw all Yerks. Yerks are terrible." And you could say they needed that, but you don't do it in that way of going to the media. And that's why I think the players have seen Erik Ten Hag. He's not going to blast you off in the media, but you're not going to get away with poor performances. You're not going to get away with mediocrity and lack of discipline. And you can see it in the preseason. He's always in someone's ear who isn't doing what they're supposed to do. And that's what United haven't had since Ferguson. Maybe Mourinho, but the players turned on him. So since Mourinho, you could say, they haven't had a manager who's going to be like, okay, yeah, it's going to go this. You don't follow the line. There's the bench. Follow the bench. You unhappy on the bench, there's the door. Simple.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. He's brought in the discipline. The club haven't supported him and the players that he's wanted. The business should have been completed, and we should have gone into the season ready. So we're half cooked at the moment. But let's move away from United because, as I said, it's unacceptable and it's embarrassing, and they've got a lot of work to do. Sometimes I feel sorry for Ten Hag, but you know what? He took the job. He's got to deal with it.
He's got to.
I want to talk about the other top, well, some of the top 4, 5, 6 clubs. We'll start with City. What do you think of their business?
The 2 major players that they acquired in Julian Alvarez and Erling Haaland, very, very good buys. Considering that City don't have a out-and-out striker, number 9. Gabriel Jesus filled that position, but he wasn't that out-and-out striker. Considering they've bought 2 world-class young strikers, you've got to say that they've bought, other than Liverpool, with Liverpool as well, they bought the 2 main aspects that they've needed. Yeah, they bought Calvin Phillips, but they didn't need him. They got Rodri. Calvin Phillips is not going to play every game. Rodri's going to play more. They bought what's his name? So it's Erling Haaland, Calvin Phillips. They missed out on that left back. That's a big thing I think City will regret, is missing out on Mark Cucurella from Brighton. Chelsea looks like they're going to scoop him up.
I think that deal went through today, Matt.
Yeah. Brighton
I
are
think,
saying
I think
no
that
agreement.
Chelsea deal went through today with Cucurella. That would have been a fantastic signing for City, Matt. Really.
Oh, without a doubt. Like,
Yeah.
you think of the players that sit, like, he's from Barcelona, so Pep, he'll know the style that Pep's going to play. He'll know the attacking going forward, tiki-taka type of football. They've missed out on that. They then sold their next left back in Alexander Zinchenko. Now, João Cancelo can play there, but what happens when he's injured? You now got to trust yourself with a kid who probably hasn't played all season. So it's a tough one, but I think City have, in terms of what they needed, they didn't have a striker last season, and they still scored how many goals? They still got to, they still won the league. How many trophies they won? That striking, it might not change the way they play. Haaland's going to have to adapt to the way they play, and so is Julian Alvarez. But he's a South American. He's going to be able to move aside. He'll be like Jesus. He won't be that pure number 9. He'll be moving in around De Bruyne, the striking position, Mahrez, Grealish. Now, another player who I thought City, I don't think many people rate. I think he's too inconsistent though. Sterling was a good buy, or in terms of a selling point, Chelsea got a steal on that one in terms of the player capability, and City just made 45 million. So I wouldn't say it's a loss for City. They've made their 45 million, but he is going to be a big miss because I don't think Grealish will be able to live up to the standards that Sterling would have done if Sterling played as much as Grealish did. I think City have done a good job in terms of what they needed, but they haven't got everything they need because you got no right cover for Kyle Walker if he's injured because Cancelo is your left back.
Matt, just in what you're saying there, for me, the biggest part of City closing their transfer window this season was them buying Haaland. That was a fantastic buy. If Haaland takes to the Premier League and their style of play, and he can grow into that position, they'll be world beaters.
Oh yeah, we saw it. We saw it when they played Liverpool. He missed 2 chances. Chances you thought he would bury with his eyes closed.
You play that game again, they could have won 3-1.
You look at the chances he missed. He's going to get those chances week in, week out. He's not going to be missing them every week. He's going to be burying them 3 times over. So the chances that he's going to get served onto them from De Bruyne, probably the best passer in the league at the moment, from De Bruyne, Mahrez, the attack that City have, the midfield, they are good. He is going to eat up the goals. I think he will eat up the goals. I think he's going to be top goal scorer. That's not because that's not because he's gone from the Bundesliga. He scored 150 something goals for Dortmund. I just think the chances that City will create. You can put any striker in that City team. You put a Martial in that City team. The chances he's going to create, he's not going to score all of them.
The thing is, the difference between Martial and Haaland is
he's capable of scoring those goals.
Haaland is the consummate professional when it comes to finishing. So I think that will be crucial for City. Let's talk about Liverpool and Chelsea and a bit about Tottenham.
Liverpool, I thought Nunes is a good buy. I think Sadio Mane being sold is a big mistake. I think you lose that potentness on the left. Now, I'm not saying that Luis Diaz is not as capable of it, but you lose that potentness, pace, the strength, the inside the left foot, right foot. Mones is a pure an attacker for you. Yes, Liverpool have got a goal scorer in that position that Mane would be playing, but I think you lose out on that versatility through Mane. Now you can't bank on Jota providing the same impact that Mane did if Nunes is injured. You've got to look at all these aspects. Nunes gets injured, Mane could have covered him. Mane would have covered him. He would have been a better striker option than Jota would be. Jota's going to play out a while and competes for that position with Luis Diaz. So it's good money that they've sold, that they got for him. He could have probably been more if he had more in his contract. He only had 1 year left. But I do think that his sale is, in my opinion, a bit of not a good one for Liverpool.
I tend to agree with you. I think he was very underrated at Liverpool, Matt.
Oh, very. I think Salah's image covered what Mane did on the field. A lot of 2022 is Liverpool's success, or where they got to, is down to Sadio Mane, because Salah was very quiet in that season.
I thought that Sane was more of a grafter than Salah is. Salah was more gifted than Mane, but Mane was a grafter. Anyway, it will be interesting to see how they go without Mane. I think I agree with you on that with regards to Liverpool. Let's move on to Chelsea, Matt. What do you think about Chelsea?
Oh, they're in a bit of a tough stretch at the moment. My club is has taken transfers that they wanted. I thought the players that they've bought in, Sterling, Koulibaly,
I thought that Koulibaly was a good buy, Matthew.
Very good buy. I think I thought they wouldn't get him through, but they did. He is a very, very good buy.
Yeah, I thought he was a fantastic purchase. Take my hat off to Chelsea for getting that through.
I just think losing Rudiger and Christensen, you've now lost that extra cover. So Christensen wouldn't have started if Koulibaly was bought. And yes, the Russia and Chelsea stopped them from creating these new contracts for these players. But I thought that Chelsea could have tried more to keep Rudiger. He was a player I thought was one of the best defenders in the world, I think.
Do you think Chelsea is going to buy De Jong?
It would be if they pay the money, and it looks like he would prefer London over Manchester. He would prefer Chelsea over United because of Champions League football.
Because of Champions League football, yeah, that's what I said.
I think if they put the money on the table, I think they'll get him.
Matt, I think, to be honest with you, I think that if Barcelona had paid him his 15 or 17 million that he was owed, he would have left already.
Yeah, considering that the players that they've bought in, they're all basically in his position, and he wants to play deeper. He wants to play just ahead of the back four. He's not really going to do that with Sergio Busquets there at the moment. So it's up to just
a lot of people are saying he wants to stay at Barcelona because they've strengthened the squad. Because they've strengthened their squad, he wants to be a part of it. But I can't see them paying his wages.
No. It'll come down to either he takes the pay cuts or something. They'll look to bring in money if he can't take the pay cuts.
Now, let me tell you something, Matt. Let's move away from Chelsea. Let's move across to Arsenal and Tottenham. I think they've done fantastic business this summer.
Fabulous.
I really think You know, Daniel Levy wouldn't part with a cent. Now he's backing Conte, and Conte is getting everything he wants. I think they're going to be competing
So
in their matches, in their games.
I
I
think
think Conte's discipline and the ruthlessness that he has with regards to dropping players if they're not performing. He's not there to be their friend. He's there to coach them and
yeah,
make them better and to let them compete. I think Tottenham's going to be a very dark horse this summer. I mean, this Premier League season.
yeah. I think top two. We basically know who's top two. It's City and Liverpool.
I agree with you on that.
Arsenal and Tottenham are going to be very big top four contenders. If Arsenal can stay consistent, we say this every year because they do. They haven't
I
made
think
they haven't made transfers like this where that you can actually see an improvement in the team. I think Gabriel Jesus is an absolute world-class transfer for Arsenal. Absolute world-class. He changes the dynamic of Arsenal. Because you look at Lacazette and Aubameyang, they weren't that moving around the park, tiki-taka type of football that you see from Jesus. He can play left, can play right, can play forward. So they've lacked that in big departments. And you could see it the way he's scoring this in the preseason. It's outrageous.
you know
They've looked well.
I've been watching a lot of the preseason. I've been watching a lot of the YouTube channels, a lot of the football pundits. I can tell you now, this is going to be Arteta's test because he's had three years there or 3 seasons. He's got his players that he wants. Now he's got to compete properly for top 4. And I think it's going to come down. I think personally, it's going to come down to the coaching. It's going to be Tuchel or Tuchel, Conte, and Arteta fighting for top 4. And I think that it's going to be up to the managers.
Chelsea makes up for.
I think it's going to be up to the managers, Matt. If they can get their teams playing for them and for the club and not for themselves, they will succeed in getting top 4. And they'll get it easily. I don't think United's going to make top 4, Matt. I'll be honest with you. The business they've done is not good enough, although I like Ten Hag's discipline, which we were lacking. I think Arteta, Tuchel, and Conte bring that discipline into the club, and they make the players play for the club. So it's up to those managers now to fight for top 4. But I'm very impressed with Tottenham and Arsenal signings this season.
Tottenham never ever bought anybody. You never saw them buying people. Now they're backing a manager who has proven himself in football. I thought he should have been United's manager last season when they fired Solskjaer. Who knows? We can see that they're trying to back Ten Hag, but it's not working for them. They're too reserved. I don't think they're going all out for it.
They're not ruthless enough anymore, Matthew. Like Ferguson, when Ferguson was in charge.
And the Glazers are just poisonous.
We need the Glazers out of our club, Matthew.
They're poisonous to the like. You look at when players were crashing down doors to go to United, and now look, people are turning their noses up to United in terms of a smaller team.
We haven't even completed a financial transfer market, and they've already taken their dividends.
So it's not. You could say Ten Hag has given his transfers. He's given what he wants to the club. They haven't backed him. So I don't think United will make top 4, and I don't think Chelsea will make top 4.
Who's going to be your top 4, Matt?
I think City will win it because City look like, as we said, they added the value, a key aspect in there. They value that striking position now. It was something they lacked. It was my opinion why they lost in the Champions League. The chances they create, they don't have that threat as a number 9. And they brought in 2 players who are going to offer that for you.
I think City will win it, and they'll win it by a country mile, to be honest with you.
I think they'll win it by at least 8 points.
Yeah,
More
I
than-
say 8 and above. I was going to say 10 and above, but I think they're going to really hammer the other teams.
I think
They're going to be
Liverpool,
very competitive in every game, and Liverpool will be trying to catch them. And then with Liverpool trying to catch them and being under pressure, they could stumble a bit with the other 3 teams knocking on the second place there, Matthew.
yeah, I think Liverpool losing Mane.
That's one of
think-
my things.
I think
What happens if Van Dijk gets injured, Matthew?
there's another thing, Steve. Like
You know,
they've got, like I think that Konate is going to be a very good
fantastic,
centre back,
fantastic.
very good centre back for Liverpool.
You must remember, Liverpool does very good business too. Eh? They don't just
Oh,
go
very-
and buy; they go for who they want.
I think that left back that they bought is a kid from the Scottish League. He's going to give that Robertson type of aspect. He's going to be there to cover. Trent is going to be a big, important for Liverpool, very big. And I think if he can be on top of his game, I think if Trent is on top of his game, obviously Salah is scoring and Núñez is scoring, I may have to change my prediction on how I see City winning the league. I don't think they'll run with it. I think it'll be like a very close, like last season, down to 1 point, 2 points, even goal difference. Because Liverpool, they just beat City 3-1. We can't not say Liverpool are going to be title challengers. I just think City, in terms of what they've acquired and how they would play, is going to be the edge to why they win.
I think
But
it's going to. I think
I
it's
don't
going to
see Liverpool. I see Liverpool being there. If City if Haaland doesn't score the way we all think he is, Liverpool win the league. It's down to that.
If he doesn't take to the Premier League, City's got a problem. But
They won't win the league.
I see it City, Liverpool, and I think Tottenham for third. And then I see Chelsea and Arsenal fighting for fourth place. United won't even be in the top 5, 6.
City, Liverpool. I see Arsenal, then Tottenham, because I think Tottenham's defense hasn't improved in terms of what they should be playing. They bought that out from Barcelona, who I don't rate, but I'm glad he's gone. But I think Arsenal have improved in all aspects. We look at their midfield, look at their forwards. They're bringing that.
That's why I say this is Arteta's test, Matthew.
They're bringing that centre back that they had on loan there back to Arsenal.
Yeah.
Tierney is coming back from injury. I think they will do well. I think they'll pit third. For me, it'll be Tottenham fourth. If Chelsea can keep everyone fit, Chelsea like that close to like that. It'll be like fighting neck and neck between Chelsea and Tottenham. I think Richarlison is a good buy, but he's not going to give you 20 goals a season. Harry Kane's going to do that.
You got Kane and Son though. They're going to get the. I think Tottenham are going to be surprised. Big surprise this season. Your top 6 for the season, Matthew.
So we know my top 4. It's 5th place is Chelsea, 6th place is United. So big 6.
Okay.
I don't think West Ham, like people have started. It's the same with Leicester. When Leicester won the league, people figured out, okay, you nullify this person, they lose their shape. I think West Ham are the same. You take Mikel Antonio out the game and you give Declan Rice a hard time. And Jared Bowen can't do it on his own. He's not that type of player to just drop you 20 goals, 15 assists for West Ham. So
You
I
must
think
remember
big
that
6
Leicester's
is-
done no business, eh?
Yeah, Leicester. Leicester
They're
will
in
have to finish
trouble.
top 10.
Leicester's in trouble, especially if they lose a couple of their players. They've lost Schmeichel already.
There, Madison could be going to
Madison,
Newcastle.
yeah. I think they're in trouble, Matthew.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think relegation, but I don't see top 10.
for Leicester, no,
Yeah.
nor do I. Nor do I. They had a terrible season last season too.
And
was
especially
shocking.
you let go your main goalkeeper for 1 million. You've made, and especially now, no one ever saw this coming. No one saw him going for 1 million to Nice. You've brought in no one, and you've just let go of one of your main reasons why he did Leicester got to where they were. He's a good shot stopper, but every goalkeeper should be that.
I thought he was fantastic. He's a team player, that boy.
Yeah, Kasper
Just like his dad. Very,
Kasper
very, very, very.
He's going to be a big miss for Leicester.
Yeah, yeah, and he was their captain. So who's your relegation?
Fulham, Everton, out, done and dusted. For me,
Yeah.
Everton.
Okay.
Okay. Fulham, Everton. I want to say Bournemouth, but I think they will do what's Thing did, Burnley did. They'll fight Burnley and what's his name? Not Crystal Palace.
Brentford.
When Brentford started off bad. I don't think Brentford will go down. Nottingham Forest will have a good season.
I think they'll have a fantastic season in the Premier League.
I don't think they'll get top 10, but I think they'll be enough to stay up. I think
they'll be there. They'll be there and thereabouts, Matthew. I like the coach or the manager. He's very good.
I think in terms of players that are going, I would say Bournemouth, but 17th place, fighting for 16th place.
Okay.
What
I want to ask you before we end this video, Matthew, is what's your transfer of the summer?
That's a hard one. In the Premier League?
In the Premier League.
That's a hard one. Like I was saying, Steve, I think it's Haaland. It's what City have been missing for the last, 6 years that Pep, since Aguero left. So 3 years that Pep has had no striker. They haven't had no clear number 9. And football is changing. Look at Liverpool. Liverpool never used the number 9. Now they've just gone and bought a number 9 for 100 million. Football is changing and we can see it. I think Haaland.
Look, everyone's going to say Haaland, but for me, without saying Haaland, I say Koulibaly for Chelsea.
If I don't say Haaland, I'm going to say Gabriel Jesus. I think he'll get Arsenal plus 20 goals.
Okay, I'm going Koulibaly for Chelsea. I think he's going to tighten up their defense. He's a fantastic player, and it's what the Premier League needs.
I also say Sterling for Chelsea. It's going to be something that Chelsea don't have because Pulisic.
You like Arsenal this season, eh?
Arsenal are going to be a good team to watch.
Well, I want to see Arteta. It's his time to shine now. Let's see if he shines.
I think he needs to be competing for. I think they need to be in the final of the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. They need to be competing for those two.
For trophies, yeah.
For trophies. And if they can get to the final of the Europa League, look, there's some good teams in the Europa League that'll come from the Champions League. So if they can get there with the squad that he's just made, not like I'll give him his flowers, but if he can keep the squad and maybe add an addition for next season, he has to be competing for titles. You can't stay at a club and just keep getting, like Arsene Wenger won stuff, but he saw what happens when you just got top four. You can't keep doing that.
No.
And especially when they spent, 50-something million on Jesus, 80 million on Pepe the last season. So they've spent big money on players. They need to be keeping these players and competing. So Arsenal is my team to watch. I think Arsenal are going to, for me, Arsenal will do well.
Okay, Tottenham is my team to watch. Okay. So what we're going to do is, Matt, is we're not going to have any predictions for this weekend because it's the first round of games. But next week we'll start doing our predictions for the following week. We'll see how the predictions go this weekend. Let's hope United can get a couple more signings over the over the line. I know you're happy with Barcelona's signings. I just want to thank you for your time for coming on to Moving the Goalposts. I know you're very passionate about your football. So I'd just like to thank Matt. Remember, this video is sponsored by Top Tipper Betting Tips. If you'd like to be a part of it, we'll leave the link in the description below. We charge 400 Rand a month for our horse racing tips. And last season, we made $500,000 profit if you paid 1,000 each way on our best bets and value bets. Matt and I are going to be doing the football every week, and hopefully we can steer you in the right direction. Matthew, you got a lot of studying to do and a lot of games to watch this weekend, so we can steer the guys in the right direction. Would you like to say anything before we close, Matt?
Player of the season. I'm going to go with someone who should have won it out and out last season. And I think he is going to benefit the team you've picked as your dark horse, Son Heung-min.
Okay, nice.
He is my player of the season. I think he is how Kevin De Bruyne is good, Salah's. They're all great. But I think he just adds something different when he plays. Considering the team he plays in, I think he is my player of the season. And I think that will be the tipping point to why I say Spurs ahead of Chelsea.
And I say Spurs are the dark horse for the season. So let's see what they do. Guys, thank you for joining in and watching us. Matt, again, thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you to Top Tipper Betting Tips for sponsoring the video. And we'll see you in a video soon.
Thanks,
Enjoy,
Steve.
Have fun, break a
Bless
leg.
everybody.
Cheers for now.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, Matt.
Thanks, Steve.